guys. Thanks for 100 subs. Well, technically I haven't reached it yet because I'm recording this before I got those, got that amount, but you get the idea. This is a Q&A. Can you believe that? A Q&A. You ask questions, and then I answer with answers. Well, thanks for all of the support and everything for the stuff I've been making, like original music and Ytpmvs. But anyways, let's get into these questions. First question is, what's the best Ytpmv ever made? I think the best Ytpmv, there are a lot to choose from. Usually I don't like to say, oh, this is my favorite thing of this thing, because I don't know, there are a lot of things, like favorite movie, like there are a lot to choose from, but I don't know, with Ytpmv, I think probably the best one has to be Sidewalk Pizza Crimes. It's a video made by Dutsiruk and Baikun, or however you say their names. They spent like 2 years on it, and they've put a lot of effort into it. There's a lot of variation there and cool shit. Looks neat. Dinner. I don't know. Spaghetti? What differentiates your Ytpmvs from others? I use Vegas for visuals, at least. Though I don't use that for audio. But I'm not really like the best to like pinpoint what exactly makes my videos like different from others, but for a long time now I've been trying my best to like reach the highest I can do. Like people like Supreme and Teacup has been making some incredible visuals in Vegas, like using Vegas only, and I want to reach that kind of level, and I'm always like trying my best to do that. So those currently those two are inspirations, at least. I don't really like coping, and that's not what I'm attempting to do. Next question is from Groggly Frogly. Any sources and samples or songs you think are underrated and should be used more often? Yeah, of course. I try to like do different PGMs that aren't usually that oftenly used. I used a song from a mobile game that a few people have played. I also used a short web series as a source once. I also used like a MIDI on a MIDI website as a song once, though I added an extra part. There are things that I wish were used more, but they're just like very niche things, so I doubt it. The next question is Bendicunes Harmusaseli. No clue what that means, and I probably didn't pronounce it correctly. It doesn't matter anyway, it's spam. From Yuppie I got several questions. What is the process of making a good sample like? Usually I just watch random stuff. When I hear a good sample, I just notate it down, and then I never fucking make a sample for it. Occasionally I do, but I still have like a bunch of notes for stuff that I've like never made samples out of. Sometimes I've just sampled like entire movies, and I watch that, and then I like notate random points, and then I go through the movie again, but not by watching it, but I also see if there's anything I missed. What part of making a Ytpmv takes the longest in your experience? Visuals, audio, finding samples, etc. Also, which part do you enjoy the most? Visuals takes the most time. It's the most tedious. Sometimes I can make visuals kinda fast, and sometimes I just spend fucking weeks on it. Like, I think I spent like 3 to 2 weeks making visuals for the big shot video. In comparison, I spent like less than a week on the Luca video. I also spent like around a week on the Windy Day Job video and the Cookie video. But with all of these, I usually wait before I upload them immediately. I usually check to see if there are any errors, and then I re-render those parts with errors, and then I add the new clip over the video in a different VEG file. I don't know, I enjoy both visuals and audio. Next question is asked by Dawn. My question is, what was your most favorite video that you've worked on? What's past tense, huh? I think probably my favorite videos that I worked on is one that is currently in progress. It's not finished yet, but if we're not counting those, then I think the lamprey hole video and Europe. I like those two. I really like the visuals ideas that I put into them, and I spent a bunch of time on it. I think I spent more time on the lamprey video overall, but I still managed to finish it in the end. What is your favorite Garfield character? I don't know, that's not something I've thought about, I guess. I don't know, I guess Garfield. I don't really have an answer, who cares? How did you become an IG parody? For those that don't know, I have a different channel that I barely use anymore. It's a IG parody channel called I High Quality Rip Anything. I ended up in I Everything's video, and the video he made on IG parodies ended up making the community bigger, but the community ended up dying. So basically, I was just searching I Hate Everything's name on YouTube or whatever, like because there were a few like I Love Everything channels that people had made for some reason, and I ended up stumbling across I Hate Everything. You've probably heard of him, and I thought the videos he made were funny, but there were one thing I didn't really like about them back then, and that was the Ytpmvs at the end of the videos, ironically enough. Basically, I first made the different IG parody before I deleted all of the videos, and then before I made I Parody Everything. That was the name of the channel before I changed it. It had some stupid lore that I never ended up finishing, but it doesn't matter anyway. Basically, that's how I ended up as an IG parody at one point. If I never actually joined this community, then I probably maybe wouldn't have been a Ytpmver, or I probably wouldn't use the current programs that I do. Probably would have used only Vegas, because someone introduced me to FL Studio with a meme they made, and when I asked them how they made the meme, they told me it was FL Studio in like a private group chat for IG parodies or whatever. But yeah, that's the story. I got some questions. Do you want to try my— No! Do you want to have a Nico account? I already have one. I barely use it though. The next question is by Diary Wolf. Who's your favorite musical artist? I'm kind of unsure about that, but I do have a few that I really like and really enjoy, who I think put a good amount of effort. I like Patricia, Taxxon, Nelward, Kershaw, and Susumu Hirasawa. These are all very different. Patricia Taxxon does a bunch of different genres, but overall, you could say she's our pop musician. If I died, would I be rid of this knowledge? And Nelward, he's kind of like a pop musician, video game music influence, and also a little bit of jazz influence, and I think it's pretty neat. Nick Kershaw has some, the synth pop music he made in the 80s was pretty good, I think. He was the guy that made the Riddle, and then someone else made a cover version and got more views. And Susumu Hirasawa has some pretty cool experimental music and all that. He's also done different genres, but it's very electronic, so... One thing that Patricia Taxxon and Nelward is better at is probably mixing. Next question is asked by Thinglet247. What do you think is the meaning of Bag of Life? No clue what that means. What is your opinion on the lack of recognition of the September 11th terrorist attacks in the animated film Turning Red, which is set in the year after the attacks? Oh yeah, remember this stuff.
This film takes place less than a year after the September 11th terrorist attacks.
Mr. Enter is kinda weird. Like, a few of his videos are kinda entertaining. I don't know, this is a very dumb opinion. Oh no, you think it's unrealistic, yet a little girl turning into a red panda is realistic. Makes sense. Overall, I liked the movie. I thought it was good, or whatever. 8 out of 10. What is your opinion on Vegas Pro 14? For me, I use it because it's my favorite. I don't use 14, I use 16, so I got a bunch of questions from Cam. What/who is your main inspiration for videos? Like I said earlier, I said Teacup. He's been making a lot of good videos this year and last year, and I think they're pretty impressive for something made in Vegas. Hyro Material is also a pretty big inspiration. I've been watching his videos since like 2016, so he's always been an inspiration. Also knew about Teacup that early, but he was not an inspiration yet. Another inspiration I little bit sometimes occasionally is 90, sometimes with audio. Other than Ytpmv, have you got any other hobbies? Yeah, like I've said before, and I'll say it again, I also make original music. I think it's pretty fun. I also used to like ride my bike outside, but now I just take walks. I just walk outside. I don't know, it's nice. Lately, like this year, I've gotten like into like watching movies. I have a really good Letterboxd account. You can go look at what I've watched there if you want to. I write short reviews there, and I've watched a bunch of movies. Maybe a bit too much, but hey, it's summer. What are you gonna do? Most and least favorite thing about Ytpmv. The best thing is probably all of the impressive visuals over like joke videos. That can be pretty cool. I think probably the least favorite. Is there anything you've made or plan to make that you think is completely different to any other Ytpmv you've made before? No, not really. Most of the ones I'm working on or planning to make are really just Ytpmvs that are bigger projects occasionally. I do have an idea for a Ytpmv, Automad-ish style video. For this one, it kind of relies on a trailer for a movie that, I don't know, it might not happen. If that movie becomes a thing, then that Ytpmv can become a thing. How are you feeling today? Not much. I'm recording this question separately from everything else because I suddenly got this comment. But yeah, it's fine. It's perfectly acceptable. But I don't know, I wish something happened. I want to do something. What do you do as a job if you have one? I don't have any. It's just hobbies and stuff. If you've even heard of any, what's your favorite Deltarune AU? Undertale? It technically counts. Will you continue composing music outside of Ytpmvs? Yes. What are your thoughts on your own creative pursuits not receiving the same attention as your Ytpmvs? Yeah, of course. I'll be continuing original music outside of Ytpmvs. Like, yeah, I get it. Most people who are sub to me, they won't like Ytpmvs, and that's why I've been making longer. I post links to my videos on more places than I do with the albums. Yeah, I guess it makes sense why the Ytpmvs do better. But also, sometimes it just feels like it's just straight up luck. Like, some guy can just make a fucking original song and post it to their alt account. And then suddenly it's a fucking fad. And JM Nerd can just make a fucking video with a bunch of unfinished songs. And then suddenly they're all fads. Wow. Good for you. But even though nothing happens, I just still make music because it's fun. I try to do commissions, but I've only ever gotten one. What is your first language? My mother tongue is Norwegian. I'm a Norway boy. Scandinavia. The next question is asked by Moose. Question is too philosophical. I don't understand it. Sorry. Well, yeah, that's practically, there are no more questions. I didn't get any more. I try my best to get as many as possible. Basically, I don't have much more to say. Thank you, I guess. So, this was basically me just wanting to branch off and do some other stuff besides Ytpmv while I'm still continuing that. But keep in mind that I want to do whatever I want. I hope that's fine. Okay, thank you, and have a good night, have a good day. Bye bye.